Hello, students and parents, and welcome to Summer Springboard. My name is Ryan Farrell. I work as one of the enrollment specialists with Summer Springboard. In a previous video, I gave step-by-step instructions on how to access the parent portal from our webpage. And in today's video, what I'd like to do is give a quick step-by-step guide on how to navigate the forms section of the parent portal and how to complete those forms appropriately. Now, first step would be to access the parent portal from our website. And very quickly, just as a review, you could do so in the top right with the login button or center screen bottom left with the login button. Both will take you to the same place. And I'm going to log in real quick. Once you're in the parent portal, you'll notice on the left-hand side, highlighted here, the second option down, you'll see the Forms tab. What you want to do is click that Forms tab. And under the Forms tab, it's going to have two different sections. On the top is the Family Forms, highlighted here, and on the bottom is the Student Forms. Under the top section in the Family Forms, you'll notice there are two. The top one we have is the Heroes discount, highlighted here. And that is not required. That's only for families claiming that 5% Heroes discount. And our Heroes discount is for anybody who's employed as a first responder, who works in the military or in the armed forces, works as a school teacher, is in the healthcare profession. And that would be where you would submit your proof of verification. So that could be a photo of your employment ID, a copy of the pay stub, etc. And then the second form under the Family Forms is the Family Guide. So in this case, because my account is enrolled under UC Berkeley, it is the 2022 Family Guide for UC Berkeley, but it'll be respective of whatever campus your student is enrolled in. That is nothing that you have to complete or upload or sign. That is merely for reference. It'll have a whole host of helpful information on what you can expect for day one, where you're going to be reporting to exactly on day one, the time, if you're a residential student, what to pack, what to leave behind, etc. It has a whole host of information. And again, that's just for your reference, nothing that you have to upload. The bottom section, like I mentioned before, is the Student Forms section. And that is what you're going to want to click to take you to all of the required forms that need to be completed for your respective students' enrollment. Important thing, it'll be highlighted. You need to click it to view the forms. And again, that's going to take you to all of the list of forms that are required to be completed by their respective due dates. To note, all of the forms in this section, you'll notice are going to be either marked as a web form, as notated and highlighted here, or a printed form. You'll see all the respective forms are either notated in the gray label as either a web form or a printed form. The difference between the two, a web form is a form that you would just click. You could input the information in the parent portal, in the form itself, and then submit. Whereas a printed form, you'll either have to download some document or template, complete it physically, and then re-upload it, or just upload a document or a file type to begin with. Something also to note for the printed forms, where you either have to download and then re-upload or upload to begin with, they only accept PDF or JPEG files. So please take note, any printed forms only accept JPEG or PDF file types. And then, like I said, a web form is you would just input the information right there in the parent portal and submit. I'm going to walk through from top to bottom the various forms. And we will start with the top. Again, we have the program information section. You'll see it's the Family Guide, again, for UC Berkeley. It's going to be respective of your individual campus and enrollment, and it's a printed form. Again, just for reference, nothing that you have to complete, sign, and upload. It's just for reference. Under that, we have contracts and waivers. The first form under contracts and waivers is the 2022 International Student COVID Protocols that is only required for students residing outside of the US. Again, it's a web form, so you'll be able to complete it online in the parent portal, and it's due May 1st. The second form under the contracts and waivers is the 2022 medical consent. It's required for all. It's a web form, so you could complete it through the parent portal, also due May 1st, 2022. The last form under the contracts and waivers is the 2022 Parents and Students Contract and Waiver. That is a web form. Again, you can complete it through the parent portal. Does not have a due date, and it shows that it was received October 5th, in this case, as in the example, shows that it was received October 5th of 2021. As we continue down through the forms, the next section is the medical forms. And the one and only, at least in this case, the one and only form that's identified here is the copy of the immunization record, which is it's listed as a printed form, and it has a due date of May 1st. With respect to this form, the copy of the immunization record, if you click it, again, it's a printed form, so you'd have to download and then re-upload or upload to begin with. With respect to this form, you'll notice highlighted here at the top, you can download basically a blank template that Summer Spring Board has created for you to fill out and upload. Or generally speaking, if you're US-based, if your physician or your doctor has a similar form that includes all of the necessary information, all of the same information that is on this template that we created, you could just request that copy and upload that form itself, as opposed to downloading this, giving it to your healthcare professional, having them fill it out, and then using that to sign up. So if your healthcare professional has a similar record keeping form that includes all of the information we're requesting on our form, you could submit their form instead. Might save a little time and hassle on the doctor's office's end. And again, the file types that are only accepted are JPEG or PDF. This form itself is more so this template that we have created, highlighted here, the blank copy of the immunization record, that is more so included for students whose doctors and healthcare physicians may not have this necessary information, so they could use the template that we created, or for international families where their immunization records might look a little bit different or might be in a different language. So we have them, this would be the template that you would use for your physician's office to complete, and then you would upload it in this section. So if we go back to the list of forms that we had before, we left off right here in the medical forms. That's the immunization record. Again, you could either download the template we have, depending on certain circumstances, or upload your own doctor's office template, again, as long as it meets the requirements of the template that we have included here. And again, that's a printed form due May 1st. The next section is the COVID-19 section. The first form in this section is the upload proof of full COVID-19 vaccination. Again, it's a printed form, so you would have to upload either an image or a PDF copy of your current vaccination status to show that you have received either 1 or 2 shots, depending on the manufacturer, as long as you're considered fully vaccinated, as well as boosted, depending on the campus that you'll be attending and if you're eligible as well. And that is due May 1st. The second form is the proof of negative COVID-19 test. It's a printed form. Again, that'll be something that you'll take a picture of and upload, or upload a document, and it does not have a due date. The negative COVID test due date depends on what kind of negative test or what kind of COVID test you take. If it's a PCR test, you'll have to upload that within 3 days of your arrival to campus. If it's a rapid test, you'll have to upload that within 24 hours prior to your arrival. And again, a printed form, so you'll have to upload either a JPEG or a PDF proof. The last form in this section is the COVID-19 protocols and waivers. It's a required form. All three of these are required under the COVID-19 section, but this last form is the COVID-19 protocols and waivers sign off. It is a web form, so you'll be able to complete it right here in the parent portal and submit it, and it has a due date of May 1st, 2022. As we continue on downward, the next section is the optional forms. These are exactly how it sounds, optional forms not required. This first form that we have under the optional section, it is the flight itinerary, the web form version. So this would be if you have chosen to utilize any of our airport transfer services, then this is going to be the form you're going to use to manually input the flight itinerary details so we know when to pick up and drop off your respective student. And that is due May 1st. Again, depends on what service you signed up for. If you signed up for just the arrival service, you only have to complete the arrival portion of that web form. If you signed up for just the departure, you would only complete the departure portion of that form. If you signed up for both, you would complete both. But again, if you didn't sign up for any service, it's an optional form, you would not complete it. The middle form is basically just some photo, again, in JPEG copy or a PDF copy, but a photo of the itinerary itself. Could be a PDF copy of the email or a screenshot of the email, the confirmation email you received from the airline, something that has a photo version of the itinerary itself. Again, it's a printed form, so you have to upload it, and it's due May 1st, 2022. If you submit the first form, basically where you manually input the details, we do also require that you upload the photo copy as well. It's not a one or the other, it would be both of these forms if you signed up for our airport transfer service. And then the last one under the last optional form in this section is the roommate request contract. So that is only for anybody who wants to request to room with somebody else attending the program. Let's say you came in, let's say you and a friend are attending the same program and you both want to request a room with each other. Both of the students would have to complete this form and submit that request. But again, totally optional. If you don't know anybody coming into the program, which is more often than not, then this form would not apply to you. As we navigate further down, the last section is the medical forms for 2022. The first three you'll notice are the health history forms 1, 2, and 3. They are all required and they are all in web form, which means you can open them right here, manually put in the information and submit the form through the parent portal. They are required in web form. They also have a due date of April 15th. So likely if you received an email saying that you have forms past due, it could very well be the health history forms, or if it's not, you'll notice just in this column throughout the forms tab, all up and down, you'll see the respective due dates. You can see which ones are past due specifically. And then the last two forms of the forms tab and also the medical forms for 2022 is the insurance card front and back. Again, it's a printed form because we need a photocopy of your insurance card on the front and on the back. And so you would upload that again, either in a JPEG or PDF format and upload it by the due date of May 1st, 2022. That is the forms tab in a nutshell. Again, to recap, to access the forms, you would log into the parent portal. Under the Forms tab, you would click it. You have the family forms on the top, the student forms on the bottom. You would click the respective student to view all the forms that need to be completed. And throughout this section, you will have all the forms that need to be completed. They'll say whether they're required or not. They'll say whether they're in web form or printed form. Again, a web form, you just fill the information out right here in the parent portal and you submit it. A printed form, you either need to download something, download a template or a document, have yourself or maybe a healthcare professional fill it out and then re-upload it, or you would just upload a document or a file type to begin with. And it will also have on the right-hand column the respective due dates for all of these forms. That's the general walkthrough of the Forms tab. Stick around, and there will be other videos on how to navigate the other tabs in the parent portal as well.